skiers, I'm Jeff from skiessentials.com.
And I'm Bob. Happy Friday.
Welcome back to our Top 5 Friday ski industry news videos. Apologies that we missed one last week. I was traveling back from Austria, which it's wild that I've only been back for 1 week. But I suppose when I think about how tired I am, then it makes sense.
Tail end of jet lag is my theory.
Yeah. No, I think that theory is correct. Huge thank you to Blizzard and everybody that was a part of putting that trip together. It was really pretty incredible. Kind of interesting. Like I personally wasn't allowed to film inside the Blizzard factory, which I completely understand now that I've been through it, because I undoubtedly would have filmed something that I wasn't supposed to film without realizing. But luckily, Rick from Blizzard, who's kind of their content marketing guy in North America, he was able to film, and he's going to provide us with some of that footage from inside of the factory. I also filmed a lot of like discussion stuff with other people from Blizzard. So I'm going to put together like an on-snow trip recap and then an off-snow trip recap, probably starting with the on-snow. Hopefully get that done together for everybody next week. So yeah, I'm excited to share the experience as best as I can.
Looked like skiing with Marcus Kasten was a highlight.
Yeah, he's a fun guy.
Yeah.
Really good skier. I always really enjoy meeting skiers like that you see on video a lot, and then kind of just like seeing them ski in person. It's like, I don't know. It becomes clear why they have found success.
Right.
I kind of felt the same way, although I had skied with him before on the trip earlier this season with Chris Manchetler.
Yeah.
I was like, oh yeah,
There's a reason these people like either have their names on skis or like are the best skiers in the world.
Yeah.
Like it's amazing.
Yeah, totally. So that was super fun. We have a little spring flash sale going on this weekend. It's not too dissimilar from kind of limited sales that we've done in the past. It's basically an extra 10% off. In this one, it is winter outlet, which for us right now is basically anything that's 2023 or older. There are some wild prices in there. Obviously, inventory is getting pretty scattered on that kind of stuff, but there's still some really good deals in there. I think Vocal prices dropped since the last time we did a Top 5 Fridays. What was that Revolt?
The Revolt 96 is like under $270 now.
Yeah, which is crazy.
Yeah.
And like brand new ski.
Brand new.
It's probably not going to change for 5 years.
Right.
Based on how long the Revolt 95 remained unchanged.
Yeah.
So some really good deals on the site right now. And then something that I thought was particularly interesting about this weekend's sale is if you are a mountain biker, we also have an extra 10% off basically last summer's bike gear, which is already discounted. So, yeah, kind of exciting.
Yeah, good time to pick stuff up.
Yeah.
Whether last season or this.
Yeah, and we had pretty much a seamless transition from ski season to bike season here.
Yeah, it was like the next day that the trails opened.
Our
here.
local trail network literally opened the
Yeah.
day after Stowe closed.
Yeah.
Which is always really cool.
But in the past, we've had some crossover,
Some
which
overlap.
is actually really fun.
I prefer no overlap.
You want to just go from Sunday to Monday.
Yes.
Sunday mountain closed, Monday bike trails open.
Yeah, don't confuse me with too many possible activities. Then it just gets wild.
Yeah.
So I have not been on a bike ride yet. You have?
Yeah, it was great. It's like nice and dry in there. I always like it when like the leaves aren't on the trees.
Yeah.
And you can see everything.
Yeah.
You know, when it grows up, it's very much like you're in the jungle.
Yeah.
So it's always interesting, like spring and fall, to see just how different the trails look at different seasons.
Totally. If you follow our content and if you happen to watch some of our bike content from last summer, maybe you remember the Stump Jumper Pro review that we did. I bought that bike.
As you should.
That exact bike.
Yep.
I had such a good time on it that I now own it. So I will be going for a bike ride tomorrow.
Sweet.
Looking forward to it. Tomorrow's a multi-sport day. We got an 8 a.m. tee time.
And then a noon bike ride.
A noon
Yeah.
one-ish bike ride. Yeah. So, anyways, exciting time of year. What is that noise? Somebody's shredding things.
I think it's Jeff Shredder back there.
Is that his nickname? Jeff Shredder?
Yeah, that's a cool
like
nickname.
Sweet nickname. All right, so on to the ski industry news. First topic of the week, I'll probably butcher this name, but Ryoyu Kobayashi flies nearly 1,000 feet. Ski jumper, ski flyer guy. Technically, he went 291 meters. If you haven't seen the video, go check out the video because it's wild. He's just in the air forever.
I'm amazed that they can do that off of like a non-sanctioned jump. Like
Yeah, sure.
like this was a relatively uncontrolled
Environment. Yeah.
And
He was drifting to the
he was
right.
drifting
too.
to the right.
Yeah.
Like I wonder how much kind of
It actually
play
looked like
they
he had a lot of
have.
control.
Yeah.
Looked like he turned back.
Like one of those kite surfers. Like I never know
Yeah.
how much control they have over where they get blown.
I think they have a lot.
Yeah.
I think ski flyers have less. Anyways, so 291 meters was 40 meters further than the FIS ski flying record, but this will not count as the new record, which I've seen some like upset people on social media about this. And like, how does it affect them?
I don't know. It's also like it wasn't a sanctioned event, so it
Yeah.
doesn't count towards the sanctioned things. I'm sure that this gentleman knows darn well that he's flown the furthest on skis outside of jumping out of a plane with them on. But
Yeah, like what? I'm trying to think of an equivalent, and I can't think of an equivalent. But I don't. I kind of agree that it shouldn't be an FIS
Yeah.
record because it's not under the FIS umbrella.
and
So
I
why
just,
would
I don't know. I can't imagine that he's upset about that.
it doesn't seem to be at all.
No, he seemed pretty happy with his
I
accomplishment.
don't think that was the goal.
Right.
But it's really kind of like emerged as like the trending topic of
Right.
this jump.
Yeah.
It's like he didn't get his record. It's like
I don't know. Like the way they have their jump set up is very specific.
yeah, and like the landings. Like
Yeah.
there's a limit to how long the landing is.
Right.
I don't know. Fired Up Friday. So, anyways, that was really interesting, and I would definitely go watch it if you haven't watched it already. And, you know, if you want to do your best and break his record, go for it.
Maybe that's what they're worried about. I can do that better.
I'm here to encourage it.
Yeah.
If you want to try and fly over 1,000 feet on skis, go for it. Next topic of the week, we are kind of diving into Alterra CEO's appearance and comments in the Mountain Travel Symposium, which, Bob, I didn't even know was a thing.
You got me there too.
Perfect. I'm glad that we're both in that situation. And a lot of this was really talking about the value that these multi-ski area business models bring to the industry. A lot of different things they pointed to here. It kind of bands together the voices of what would be independent ski areas while also providing sort of a financial safety net for bad seasons. I thought that was really interesting. And
Yeah.
to me, that's like kind of one of the biggest benefits is, say you are one of these conglomerates that owns ski areas on the East Coast and the West Coast. If the West Coast has a good season and the East Coast has a bad season, financially it's kind of offsetting each other.
How much do they really help, I wonder? You know, if like there was like that area in Montana that was closed earlier this year, and we talked about it on this, and another area opened and said, oh, if you have a season pass to that area, you can come ski with us. But if one of those was opened by Alterra, would they then help fund and bring the tide up with those smaller areas?
You know, the way that I look at this is it's not immediately benefiting the skier.
Right.
It's financially benefiting the company.
Yeah, and I
which
think
in the
that
long
yeah.
term like provides just more like sustainable health.
And that's what like a CEO can see that like
Right.
a romantic skier
Can't.
cannot see.
Yeah.
So I think that that's an important distinction for
Yeah.
sure.
They also pointed to other financial things that investors care more. You know, it's kind of easier to finagle a situation when you're looking
Right.
at hundreds of millions of dollars rather than tens of millions of dollars. Alterra, as an example, has invested $1.5 billion back into resorts over the last 6 years. And then he also had some interesting thoughts on environmental practices and pointed more towards their credibility rather than like actual necessity. I feel like, I don't know, maybe this wasn't like communicated well in the article that I read, but the way that I took it is that they want to position themselves as leaders in environmental practices so that they can then help kind of push industry-wide changes better.
I read that too, and then I also kind of read that it also prevents people from a certain angle of attack.
Sure, it's like a
saying
defense
like, well,
mechanism.
yeah, what have you done for the environment? And they can be like, oh, we've been ahead of this for years.
Yeah.
So I think it's like a premeditated step to kind of get ahead of potential criticism.
I think it's just really interesting to hear somebody talk candidly and openly about that.
Right.
Because it's so often just like, yes, we sort your trash so it like is better for the environment.
Right.
Not we sort your trash so we look good.
Right.
Which is kind of what they were getting at, but
Yeah.
there's obviously environmental benefits as well.
Right. Instead of just loading everything in the dumpster and
Yeah.
saying,
It's almost kind of refreshing for them to be like, hey, like, I got to do this.
right. No, it makes us look good for
Yeah.
sure. We get environmental points.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So pretty interesting. Moving on to topic 3, we got some financial figures from Vail Resorts. So looking at Q2, skier visits were down, lift ticket revenue was up. To me, that suggests that people who bought season passes skied less.
Yeah. I find that to be pretty clear as well. And
Yep.
like,
And you kind of saw it here.
I agree. And even when it was like, you know, it wasn't an ideal season from start to finish, but it had its ups and downs. And
Yeah.
even when it was really good here, like it wasn't that crowded.
Right.
So
Yeah.
totally. And also I feel like people here in the East are taking more advantage of the Western skiing. And
Yeah.
there's like,
More travel.
right. And the amount of passes they have is crazy. Like,
Yeah.
you know, I just kind of buy an Epic pass, but there's all sorts of Northeast value things like
Right.
Epic local. I don't even know what they are because I don't pay attention, but you know, like you can use your 7 days at Stowe and then 10 days at Heavenly. I don't even know, but
Yep.
they're using those days more out west on a good snow year, and then you don't see them here,
Totally.
or vice versa.
Yep.
So interesting.
Yeah.
And like selfishly, good for for us.
Yeah, there were fewer people
You know?
at Stowe this year.
Yep.
Hands down. Yeah, I never waited in I'd say the longest lift line I waited in all season was 10 minutes.
Yeah, and there's exceptions like when everything else is closed other than the 6-pack that everyone's there and there's more of a line, but
I think on those days I just left.
you just went home. Yeah.
So anyways, pretty interesting stats. And then fourth topic of the week, Marcel Hirscher announces his return to ski racing.
A re-retirement? An unretirement?
An unretirement.
Yeah.
Yes, an unretirement. And interestingly, he will be competing for his mother's native country, the Netherlands.
Yeah, I had to Wikipedia this to make sure he wasn't trying to pull a fast one on
Well, did you read why?
that he didn't want to take
Yeah.
opportunities away from young Austrian skiers.
Yeah, which
yeah.
I thought was really cool.
Yeah.
You know, that to me shows that he really cares about the younger generation of ski racing. Another thing I think is really cool is that he needs to re-earn FIS points to qualify for the World
Right.
Cup. He's got, what, 60-something wins?
like the most.
And he's got to re-qualify.
Yeah.
So he will be heading to New Zealand this fall to start earning points. And can you imagine being like a young skier who's trying to like make their way onto the World
Right,
Cup, and
like
you're
17, 18 years old.
lining up next to Marcel Hirscher.
Yeah.
I think that it would be both really cool and also really nerve-wracking, but they'll be fun to watch.
Yeah.
And then quick bonus topic 4.5 this week, which will transition us right into edits of the week. Red Bull Unrealistic. I'm pointing over there because I've been watching it, not because Jeff Schroeder is competing in Unrealistic. It's probably over. I've been kind of watching it in the background through the day, and incredible event. It's on Red Bull TV, so go check that out, or at least look for a recap. I'll probably have run 2s in the background as I edit this video. And then, moving into edits of the week. First, we have the Magma crew at Swatch 9s. These guys are kind of coming into their own for video production, I think.
Yeah. I remember seeing some last year or something like that.
Yeah.
Thinking, oh, this is some good quality stuff.
They just seem more comfortable with like what they want their videos to
Yeah.
be, and kind of like finding their niche, which I think is awesome, and I wish them the utmost success because they're just incredibly talented skiers. And then second edit, we have a Jib League perspective from Alex Hackle. Alex Hackle's a great guy. I've known him for a long time. Phenomenal skier. It's been cool to watch his career. And then great segue. We've got Jib League Season 2, Episode 2. I've really been enjoying these. Just hats off to the guys behind this. I really like the kind of just raw skiing footage. There's not like a tremendous amount of editing or like nothing flowery about it. It's just like really, really good skiing. And then lastly, we've got Marcel Hirscher at Kitzbühel 2 years ago. And this is cool because I got to have lunch there.
Nice.
Like, 11
8 days
11
ago?
days ago? No, 11 days ago, something like that. Obviously, well, not obviously. There wasn't any snow on the downhill course, but it was still cool to stand at the bottom and just be like, yep.
Steep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That one big sweeping right footer turn.
Yeah, I mean, those guys are so impressive.
No, thank you.
So impressive.
Oh my God.
Just pushing for more and more and more.
Flying.
Yeah.
And that's it. Your kids are running around the warehouse, so let's wrap this up.
No, I sent them to the playground. They'll be
perfect.
fine.
Okay. I pictured them like sitting at my desk,
They might be.
touching my
I don't
computer.
know.
I'm like, don't do that. I gave them a toy catapult to keep them busy.
They had bags of candy too. They seem happy.
You know, they were like thinking about things to put in the catapult to shoot, and it like blew my mind that they didn't just go straight to candy.
They did. They put a Smartie on the catapult.
Oh,
and
they
tried
did?
to shoot it in each other's mouths.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah.
All right.
You missed that. They all ended up on the floor.
Excellent. That's what I envisioned them doing,
Yeah.
so I'm glad that worked out. Anyways, good to be back here at Top 5 Fridays. Next week will be interesting. I won't be here.
I won't be here. I'm going to Cape Cod.
I'm going to Minnesota.
We're going in opposite directions.
So I don't know that necessarily means there won't be a Top 5 Friday, but it'll at least look a little different.
All right.
Should we just like have Matt do it himself?
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe we'll film it Thursday afternoon or something.
I'll be here.
Yeah, I will be too. Anyways, hope everyone has a fantastic weekend, and we will talk to you next week. We've got an Arcade 88 review. It's right there. Not the review itself, but the ski is right there. So we've got that and a couple other things planned. So yeah, we will talk to you next week.
Bye.